everybody.
We're on?
We're on.
Are we live?
Happy
Hi, everybody.
Tuesday.
Oh, it's Tuesday. We have a cheat. Yeah, we don't have to do it Monday this week.
Yeah.
We skipped that. We're
Skip
done.
that.
We're done with Monday.
President's
Hi,
Day.
everybody. Welcome. Come on in. Hi.
We
got
have a
hearts.
very special guest today. We have a leading lady, one of Broadway's.
You're especially obsessed with this show.
I'm
I love this show
obsessed with
too.
the show.
But Imogen's obsessed with Beautiful, and we have Shelina Kennedy here today, who is Carole King and phenomenal.
And it's still doing amazing business on Broadway. We led the grocer's story with Beautiful today.
I know. Beautiful's like huge.
Day.
Beautiful's like packing them in.
Yeah.
Packing them in.
As I say, it's the show I've seen most on Broadway, apart from the two obvious ones.
Yeah, and you don't do that with every show.
No, I don't.
I know you well enough. I know you do not sit through shows time and time again. Yes, Hamilton won a Grammy Award.
Did.
Well, you know what won the Grammy last year? Beautiful. But now Hamilton won. So it actually tied in.
There you go.
But Hamilton won. Lin-Manuel Miranda, he rapped.
He rapped his acceptance speech.
He rapped his speech, as he does.
The performance was incredible.
I know, it was cool.
Live from Richard Rogers.
Live.
So it was a
Broadway. It was a Broadway audience. It was like, Broadway friends. And yes, hashtag Gram for Ham. I know that's the thing. That was a quick thing. Okay, and people are just feeding the news stories. The other big news story.
We love this.
Marin.
Marin, huge news story.
Marin Mazing.
She's back.
I saw her last week. I went to see Allegiance, and she was there with her adorable husband Jason. And then the big news. I didn't ask her. I heard the rumors at that time, but it's confirmed today.
It's confirmed. She's going to be taking over for Kelly O'Hara in The King and I. Beginning performances on May the 3rd. Of course, she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer last year. And it's just great that she's back on Broadway.
And a big juicy role, so I'm very...
Big juicy role.
Yeah.
We're all going to have to go back to King and I.
Yeah.
I like The King and I. There was this big boat.
There's
Look it up online. There was a big boat.
It's supposed to be a spoiler, but they've always arrived on a boat. That's part of the plot.
Yeah, this is a very good boat.
This is a large boat.
This is a good boat. There's a bit of a rumour going around, which we did report on today, because I might have intel that there's some legs to this. Will Alfie Boe replace Tony Yazbek in Finding Neverland and on Broadway, and will he then take the show to London? There's a rumour going around.
So it is for that part, because when I first heard Alfie Boe, I thought maybe it was for the Kelsey Grammer part.
I did too, because Kelsey's leaving at the end of March, but no, it's for the Matthew Morrison role, J.M. Barrie.
Right.
But Matthew Morrison obviously originated it.
Tony Yazbek role too.
Tony Yazbek now.
And Jeremy Jordan, if you saw it in Boston.
But here's the thing: is that London is like New York in the sense that there are too many shows and not enough theatres. So Finding Neverland still needs to find a theatre in London.
There's never enough theatres, right?
No.
Somebody should just build like 30 more theatres on Broadway and 30 in the West End.
Planning.
Just do that. Just do that. More shows.
More shows.
More shows. What else?
Another very exciting show. The buzz on this show, it doesn't get any better. Come From Away, which is, people call it a 9/11 musical, but it is that, but it's not that.
It's about a bunch of tourists who are stranded in is it Newfoundland? Newfoundland. I don't know how you want to say it. Tourists who are stranded after 9/11, after all the planes were, set down, and they all ended up in this town apparently, and I've heard amazing. Jen Colella's in it, yes, all caps. Somebody said, Jen Colella, they yelled it.
So casting is not confirmed for Broadway yet, but it is coming in, and as it's now going to Toronto and DC before coming in, but it's also been played in Seattle.
So I'm going to go to Canada. I'm going to go see it first.
Yeah.
Or I guess I can go to DC.
Yeah.
But, Shelina Kennedy's Canadian. Did you know that? She's coming up soon.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
Hey, there's an engagement, Broadway engagement.
Broadway engagement, Stephen Pasquale and Philippa Sue, of course, is in Hamilton. So we love that.
How about that?
Love a bit of Happy Valentine. She had a good weekend.
Yeah, she had a big weekend.
She was killing it on the Grammys. Newly engaged.
Yeah, and they haven't been dating that long, so bless them. I mean, that's great. They just fell in love like that.
So that's leading odds and ends.
He put a ring on it.
He put a ring on it, and also on Odds and Ends Day, another Hamilton thing. General Elmo from Sesame Street visited Hamilton over the weekend.
Well, I don't understand General Elmo. I don't know what that is. That's a thing?
He's playing a general.
Why is Elmo a general?
Because it's Hamilton. He was taking a visit.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, just have a look at Odds and Ends. It was fun. Dates are set for the return of Motown. It will be playing July the 12th through November the 13th for a limited engagement at the Nederlander Theatre.
Right.
Now, interestingly, that's where Disaster is currently playing.
Correct.
So Disaster already has an end date, which we sort of knew.
I mean, they could move.
They could move. But we're not quite sure when yet. And Jennifer Simard.
We have other news. So we have a vlogger. We're going to have a vlogger, Disaster. It's disaster exclamation point, by the way. I always like to make sure the punctuation's correct. Jennifer Simard plays the nun with the guitar, as you know. Remember, the Airplane? Did you ever see Airplane? There's always
Not
a
for
nun
a
with a
long
guitar,
time.
right? It's always a nun with a guitar.
I mean, that was about 150 years ago, no?
Jennifer Simard is hilarious, and she is a standout in the show, and she did it off Broadway too. And she's been, I remember her. She was in the '90s. She's been around. I remember she was in I Love You, Perfect Now, Change, and she was in a show called This Thing About Men. Jennifer Simard's always great. The vlog is called Help! Exclamation point. Backstage at Disaster with Jennifer Simard. That is the vlog, and it is premiering tomorrow.
Yes, it's going to be on Wednesdays.
They started previews last week, and so that's coming up, so we can get a little taste of that. And that show is written by Seth Rudetsky and Jack Plotnick, and Jack also directs it.
Yeah.
And I thought there was something else. Oh, we did a crazy poll, as we do on Culture List. We asked everybody which stars you would want to get stuck in a disaster with, it was just sort of a stupid idea I had in a meeting, and then we did it. So the people you chose, I don't know what this means exactly. Does this mean these are people that could help you survive, or just people that'd be entertaining to have around?
Maybe both.
Or people who look good shirtless? I think it's a combination. Yeah. I think it's a combination. So we have number 10, Audra McDonald, number 9, Christian Borle, number 8, Kristen Chenoweth, number 7, James Corden, Tony host, as you predicted.
And Tony
number
winner.
6, Leslie Margarita, who I think would just be funny to have around.
Yeah.
Number 5, Ramin Karimloo, who might be able to help you, be fun to have around, and look good shirtless.
Yeah,
he might actually hit all three.
Categories, yeah.
All three. Number 4, Sutton Foster, who'd probably also look good shirtless. Number 3, Sierra Bogus.
We love her.
Number 2, Jonathan Groff, and this animated GIF of Jonathan Groff on the results. That I think okay. And then number 1, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Well, he could rap. I don't know if he'd be any good at rowing.
Rapping, not rowing. Oh, we got clever.
Yeah.
That was so clever of you. What else? Any other news? There's a play called Out of the Mouths of Babes off Broadway.
Yeah.
Which has a hilarious sounding plot. Did you read the plot?
Yes, I did. I wrote the story. Yes,
oh, you
I
wrote
read
the story.
plot.
So it sounds fun to me. I hope it's kind of fun and campy. It's about a guy who dies.
Yeah.
In Paris.
So, and
then all these women, 4 women that were lovers of his in different times in their life, all stay in an apartment together.
Yeah, with a dead cat. Anyway, it's starring Estelle Parsons and Judith Ivey, so it actually would probably pretty funny.
I hope it's fun. So let's make that fun.
Right, I'm off.
All right, you're off. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for come on over, Shelina Kennedy. Hi. Shanice from The Wiz. Hey, Shanice from The Wiz. Shanice from The Wiz. Dorothy and The Wiz is watching. Hi, Shanice.
Gosh, hi.
How are you? This is Shelina Kennedy, who plays Carole King in Beautiful, punctuation, the Carole King musical. And thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, I love how you dress because you are legit. You're like a hippie chick. I love
Right
it.
out of the 70s.
Look at you, just earthy hippie chick. That's just you.
Thank you. Actually, it's funny because I was just taking a vacation in Canada at my house in Stratford, and I picked up a bunch of clothes, and I was like, "Hey, it's my bolero from 1972 that I didn't bring to New York."
Wait, is that an old?
No, I'm kidding.
My God. Hi, look, Toronto is on. Toronto is watching.
Woo!
What part of Canada are you actually from?
I'm from all over. I'm a military kid. So I lived in Australia for 2 years, England for 2 years, all over Canada.
Do you find it annoying that Americans don't really know their Canadian geography? They know Montreal and Toronto.
Well,
that's it.
if you ask me where certain places in America are, I couldn't tell you.
So it's the same. It's the same.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, as Imogen mentioned, Beautiful is still this show. People just love this show.
Oh, we're pretty lucky. Yeah, we're lucky to be in a really good show, and we're lucky to get along really well, and we're lucky that people still keep coming.
And how long have you been in it now?
Almost a year.
Wow.
Yeah, a year on March the 6th.
Wow. So how is that? How does a long run go for you? Do you how do you keep it fresh? We've done. I did a character study with you backstage. It was a lot of fun. So we got to sort of see your process backstage. But how do you go out every night and is it just naturally? Do you hit the stage and it just sort of the show just carries you?
Yeah, at this point now, I think I'm so in it that literally I can just get into costume and kind of go. But I still have my process. I still have things that I listen to before I go out. I mean, depending on my mood, depending on where I'm at, I like to to do a certain amount of preparation every show. I've just been away for a week, so tonight I'm going to go in a little early. Listen to some Carole King, look over some old videos, do some breath work. And
Okay.
Get back into it.
Henry. Oh, Henry. Henry. Actually, we're going to talk about Henry in a second. How do you keep it true to Carol, but also make the role your own? So you're playing a real woman,
Yeah.
and you've met her, and she's an icon.
Yes.
But you're also an actress playing character.
Yeah. It's a really good question because I think that's the trickiest thing. I always say to people, and this is going to sound cheesy, but if Carol is yellow and I'm red, my version of Carol is going to be something in between, like an orange. Do you know? It's not going to be exactly Carol because I don't want to do a Saturday Night Live impersonation of a person.
Right.
But I do want to do something close to her, but that's still alive, and coming through me. And I think that's the beautiful thing about what Jessie did, is that she really made it her own. Jessie Mueller. She really made it her own, and that's what I'm continuing to try to do. And a long run is hard because you got to keep it fresh and you got to keep it special for the people who are there for the first time, or if it's a special event, it's their anniversary or whatever, you always have to keep it as if it's the very first time you've ever said those words. And so you use your fellow actors, you use sort of different exercises to try to keep it alive and in the moment. Changing your point of focus is a good one. That's something I like to do every day.
Somebody said that they saw you in Anne of Green Gables in Canada, so I didn't see you in that, but I'm assuming you were brilliant. Somebody else just said you and Jessie Mueller should do a Ham for Him together.
You know what? I would love to do anything with Jessie Mueller. I think she's fantastic.
She's coming back to Broadway too. So.
I know, and she's got a great sense of humor. She's just fun to
And her
chat
sister
with.
Abby's doing it on the road.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy. You're in it, and you're not a Mueller, so go figure. And I first saw you. You were in Jesus Christ Superstar. You were Mary Magdalene. That's when I first saw you.
Oh, really?
I know you already had a great Canadian career, but it was like, I'm just a dumb New Yorker, and I was like, well, she's on Broadway now. Now I know her. You were wonderful.
Oh, thank you very much.
Favorite place to get pizza? Do you have one? Do you eat pizza?
Yes, you know what? I like to go to, I can't remember the name of it. It's right around my area on the Upper West Side. It's like Frankie and something.
Frankie. Just whatever.
That's the worst
Whatever
answer.
says
I don't
Frankie.
even remember.
Okay, so Henry. So the reason why Henry is a funny name, Henry is one of our loyal followers who just commented. Henry is my dog's name, but more importantly, Henry is your son's name.
My son's name.
We all have Henrys. Henry. How is Henry?
He's great. Well, like I just said, we got back from a week in Canada, so he's all over the place. We drove through the storm last night, which was crazy. It took us like 12 hours to get here.
Yeah.
So, of course, he's not sleeping. So just before this interview, I was trying to get him to go to sleep, and then my parents, who are helping me look after him, have 2 little dogs, and I've got 2 dogs. And just as he was going to sleep, they started barking. And I was like, oh, God, I'm going to be
What
late.
are your dogs' names?
Molly is the older one, and do not judge me. I didn't name the little one. We adopted her, and her name is Dolly.
Oh,
So I have Molly and
sweet.
Dolly.
That's sweet. Are you going to see Jessie Mueller in Waitress? Somebody else?
I would love to if I have a night off and I can do it.
Yeah,
I would
hopefully your
absolutely love
schedules
to.
will match up so you can do that.
Yeah.
So does Henry still come to the theater?
Oh yeah, he comes every Saturday.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes on Wednesdays, but not usually because it's a really tight turnaround, and I like to have a nap.
Uh-huh. Have you had any onstage mishaps? People love to hear about mishaps.
So many mishaps. What, in this show or in general?
Sure, give us a beautiful one.
Oh
maybe.
gosh, what did I do in Beautiful? I think I forgot the words one time.
Oh really?
I mean, nothing actually.
And the whole
that
audience
crazy.
sang instead. They all knew it.
No, funny enough, it wasn't. I don't think it was to a song. It was.
okay.
I think I didn't go up in the lyrics. I think I went up on one of my lines, but that was not a really big deal. I've done crazy things in other shows, like I've fallen horribly in Mamma Mia. I did the tour, the first national tour of Mamma Mia. So anyway, when I was running up the jetty to Bill, are you my father? I literally, there's like 3 steps, and I caught my toe on the first step, and I flew across the other 2 steps, and I slid down the jetty. And the guy,
oh my God.
Craig Bennett, bless his heart, I love that guy. He was playing Bill. He just turned around and started, I could see his shoulders shaking, and I just kind of got up as if nothing had happened and kept going. Yeah, there's so many
Julia
things.
Alice wants to know if you can go see any musical on a night off, which one would you want to see?
Well, obviously, I'd love to see Hamilton. Because
course.
everybody's talking about it.
Right.
I would love to go. There's so many shows that I want to go see. I mean, every show.
That's
much.
what sucks when you're on Broadway. I mean, if like one thing maybe sucks about being on Broadway, it's that
Yeah,
your
it
schedules
really
are all the
does.
same.
But the nice thing is they've just changed the schedule and they've given us Wednesday night off.
Oh, cool.
For the next little while. So on Wednesday nights I can go see whatever
Wednesday
I
nights
want.
you can go wherever you
if
want.
I can get a ticket.
If you can get a ticket. If you can get a ticket. Does anybody else have any burning questions for Shelina Kennedy? I love your CD.
Oh,
things you
thanks.
find in a bottle. Because what kind of things do you find in bottles?
What
Songs
you find in a
and
bottle? So
stories
many things. Notes, love poems,
yeah, love poems.
wishes.
You're legit. You're a real singer-songwriter girl. Like you've been doing it since you were a kid.
Yeah,
Right?
I have.
You
I
really-
just didn't have the guts to show it to anybody. That's the crazy thing.
Uh-huh.
I was so shy about it. I didn't, until I was about, I guess, I don't know, in my 20s, I didn't have the guts to even play it for my best friend, any of my songs. So.
Somebody's asking, do you have any dream roles?
Oh.
Like if you could just write your ticket for your next Broadway gig, what would it be?
Isn't my dream role? I have so many. Guinevere and Camelot is really, I don't know why that one is
hasn't been done
the
in a
one
while.
that it's funny because I directed it, but I've never actually been in it.
You directed Camelot?
I did, yeah, I did a production in Canada.
I didn't know you were a director, lady.
Yeah, well, only once. I've assisted, but I've never actually.
Oh, wow,
this is my
that's
first,
interesting.
Real direction.
So that's it. That's one.
That's one.
Some
And there's a whole bunch of Tennessee Williams I would love to do.
Ooh.
I mean, Shakespeare, there's so many roles, so many great roles, so many great musical theater roles.
Cool. Do you have any advice for someone who wants to strengthen their voice?
Oh, other than, you know what? I would say studying is the most important thing, which it is, but I also think listening to people that you love is probably the best thing you can do. This is what I didn't figure out until I was a little bit, further along in my career. But if you listen to the people that you love, it just sinks in and you start to develop a sound that you like.
So who did you listen to?
Oh God, everybody. I mean, it depends what I was doing. When I'm singing, more legit operatic shows, I end up singing, listening to a lot of Julie Andrews, that kind of the classic sort of sopranos. Right. But when I'm doing stuff like this, obviously I listen to, Carole King and a lot of,
So you listen to it a lot. You still listen to Carole a lot.
all the time. And I love Joni Mitchell. Like I love, just from my own singer-songwriter stuff, I listen to.
What province in Canada are you from?
I was born in Oromocto, New Brunswick.
Okay.
That chestnut that everybody knows. But I was only there for a year and a half, and then I moved to England, and then I moved all over the place. So right now I'm from Ontario. That's what I tell
And do you
people.
like Italy? Somebody keeps
I love
asking.
Italy.
Somebody keeps asking, do you like Italy?
I went there for 2 weeks with my mom years ago, and I loved it. I would go back in a heartbeat.
I want to go to Italy.
Yeah.
How about next year, like during one year vacation week, let's just get like a nice house in Italy and like let's just.
Oh, can you imagine?
Let's just do that.
Tuscany?
Let's just eat pasta and hang out and bring Henry and Henry. I probably can't bring my Henry to Italy.
It's true you can. Stick him in a thing and get him on a plane.
So everyone, if you haven't seen this super talented lady play Carole King at the Stephen Sondheim Theater, even though it has nothing to do with Stephen Sondheim, just the fact that everybody loves Stephen Sondheim and everybody loves Carole King, right? I mean, and everybody loves this musical. And Shelina, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure as always. And have a good show back.
Thank you.
Don't screw up any of your lines.
Oh God! Don't forget the words.
Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.
Bye.